बुद्धिर्ज्ञानमसम्मोहः क्षमा सत्यं दमः शमः सुखं दुःखं भवो भावः भयं चाभयमेव च अहिंसा समता तुष्टिः तपोदानं यशो यशः भवन्ति भावा भूतानां मत्त एव पृथग्विधाः.
Intellect, knowledge, non-delusion, forgiveness, truth, sense control, mind control, joy and sorrow, birth and destruction, fear and fearlessness. Then verse 5, non-violence, equanimity, fulfillment, austerity, charity, fame and ill fame. Now what he's done in these two verses is, he's speaking of Atman Brahman. That is a concept that's too abstract. Now he's coming down to our level and telling us what are the qualities that we need to cultivate in order to get to that state of realization, which is very practical. We understand all these qualities, we can make an effort to cultivate them. So he says, manifold qualities of beings arise from me alone. Number one, buddhi, intellect. Human beings that we are the only species in the world that has this faculty of discrimination, the capacity to decipher what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, understand, gain knowledge, reason, rationality. All this is something that only we as human beings can exercise, and therefore it is that in spite of our physical disadvantages compared to other species, we have gained mastery over the world. And we're sending out, it's amazing when you read the scientific discoveries that are being made, it's amazing how much we can penetrate into and capture of nature, of the world. All this is possible because of buddhi, intellect. But the most important faculty or the area in which the intellect is used is to understand the difference between what is permanent, what is impermanent, what is long-lasting, what is temporary. And why is it so difficult to understand? Because the temporary, the passing, the fleeting is so tempting, so attractive that it captures our attention. It's tangible. That which is permanent is intangible, it escapes our notice. And therefore it is that we need knowledge with which to fortify our intellects. But this capacity, very few of us are using. We get carried away, and that is why in the Ramayana, Sita is portrayed as the individual, you and me. Her problems began in life when she got tempted by the golden fleeting deer. She set her heart on that deer and said, I want that. And the rest, you all know, she got abducted by Ravana. And all of us are getting abducted. We all have our Ravanas. Ravana is not an external person, our own sense organs, the 10-headed monster residing in each one of us abducts us. And the rest of the Ramayana is how to get back your bearings. So this is it, buddhi. Then intellect, jnanam, knowledge. When you acquire knowledge, it helps to fortify the intellect. But he's not speaking of knowledge of physics or chemistry or information technology or any of these subjects. He's talking about pure knowledge, pure awareness. It is that in you which enables you to know various things. In fact, this illumining aspect in you is that which enables you to know what you know. It also enables you to know what you don't know. So it illumines both your knowledge and your ignorance. So let's say you know that you know English, Hindi, Gujarati, maybe one or two other languages. You know for certain that you don't know Russian. How do you know? If somebody were to ask, you'll say, Hare, I know. And if somebody keeps on asking, you say, I know that I know. I know that I don't know Russian. This is that pure knowledge. Asammoha, non-illusion. When you know Atman, all the illusions pass away. Kshama, forgiveness. Forgiveness is a wonderful quality which we need to cultivate in this day and age. The capacity to understand a person for what he or she is. To understand that the person is a victim of his own faults, whatever be the faults and shortcomings. And that the person is incapacitated to act apart from his qualities. If a person is short-tempered, he is suffering. He is a victim of his own ill temper. He doesn't need you to create more problems for him. So kshama, forgiveness, is to understand the person's weakness and to allow him to live his life with the understanding that sooner or later he'll overcome it. If not in this lifetime, in the future. So this is what gives you the capacity. You know, the interesting thing is that sandalwood, where sandalwood comes from? It is only when you cut the tree that the fragrance comes. Forgiveness is explained as the fragrance that a violet emits as the foot crushes it. So even when someone is nasty to you, someone is unjust to you, the capacity in you to understand where it's coming from and to forgive the person. In fact, forgiveness is just understanding. When you understand, you automatically forgive. Oh, but no, we sit there and say, oh, this person didn't even respond to my invitation. When? 15 years back. And you hold it against him, you don't talk to the person, you ruin the whole relationship just because of a perceived insult. Even if it is true that a person has insulted you, let go. That's a wonderful capacity. Kshama. Satyam, truth. Truth is defined as that which persists. It was present in the past, continues to be present in the present, and will continue to exist in the future. So what is that which is permanent? Is Satyam. Shakespeare says, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. Be true to yourself means what? How do you get to that Satyam? Be true to your conscience. Your conscience is that which is always pointing towards the higher. Everybody's conscience says different things, but everyone's conscience points towards the higher. So if you follow your conscience, even though you may be wrong now, sooner or later you'll be able to work yourself out of the mess that you're in. All you have to do is listen to that conscience. Then Dhamma. Dhamma is self-restraint, sense control. Sense control does not mean unintelligent self-denial. It means intelligent sense contact. It's not denying yourself enjoyments of the world. It is contact of the world in such a way that it gives you pleasure and not sorrow. Shama, mental restraint, mind control, the control of emotions. See, we experience or we generate various kinds of emotions: love, hatred, fear, anxiety, envy, jealousy, so on and so forth, anger. Negative emotions, of course, need control. But what you don't understand is even positive emotions need to be controlled with the intellect. Any emotion allowed to run riot causes a great deal of suffering and sorrow and a backlash. So, shama, mind restraint, is important. Sukham dukkham, the capacity to enjoy both joy and sorrow. Now, this is difficult to understand. But let's take an example. As against sweet dishes in the West, where you have dessert after a meal, only sweets you have. In the Indian custom, what is it? A sweet is always accompanied by its corresponding savory. Isn't that true? Give me an example. Shrikhand puri, okay. What else? Jalebi gathia. See how quick answers come when you talk about food. Any South Indian here? Vada payasam. Correct? So on and so forth. Now the interesting thing is, you can, what is it called? Amti and Puran Poli and Amti. You can enjoy the sweet only when you have it with the savory. Isn't that true? If you have only jalebis, you'll get fed up by the time you had the second or third jalebi. But jalebi and gathia, you can swallow a lot. In life, the pleasure comes with this contrast. If there were only joy, believe me, you'd get fed up, bored. But the excitement in life is that the joy is accompanied with sorrow. And that is what lends maja to the life. Right? But the problem is, you haven't learned the art of enjoying it. The jalebi, gathia, puran poli, amti, etc., you have to develop a taste for it. Similarly, you have to develop a taste for enjoying both the joy and the sorrow of life. How do you enjoy it? You know how? Let go of both. If you hang on to it, it becomes unbearable. So let go. When joy comes, enjoy it while it lasts. Don't cling to it, because it must go, it must pass. Why? Sorrow is waiting. When sorrow comes, you say, hello, welcome, but please make a quick exit. Why? Why should sorrow exit? Because a greater joy is lying there, waiting for you. But what we do is, we hang on to the sorrow and all the joys of the world come, but there's no room in our hearts, because our heart is so full of sorrow. So learn the art of enjoying joy and sorrow. Similarly, birth and death. Evolution and devolution. If you had learned this, you wouldn't have got excited when the stock market went up, and you would not have got depressed now that the stock market has gone down. You would have understood stock market means ups and downs. Right? Bhaya and abhaya, fear and fearlessness. See, we don't understand what to fear in life, we don't understand what not to fear. All the good things of life, you don't fear. Good things means the things that give you instant joy. You don't fear. You don't fear addiction. You don't fear desire. Nobody thinks, I'm cultivating desire. Do I have the wherewithal to fulfill the desires? What happens if the desires are not fulfilled? Do I have the strength or the fortitude to bear with that? Just randomly cultivate desires and then end up with problems. So you should fear cultivation of a desire. And what do we fear? We fear spirituality. Oh, don't go to the Gita. Wait till you're 1 foot in the grave, then you can start. Afraid. And here there are people, in the Ishavasya Upanishad, the student puts in all effort and struggles till he's on the verge of realization. And the sage, whoever it is who has composed it, has dramatized the whole thing and says, it's like a veil, a golden disc covering the sun. And he says, remove that golden disc. Fearlessly he goes towards it and says, remove it because I deserve to see it. With full confidence he goes. So this is it. You should know what to fear. You should know what not to fear. And then comes Ahimsa. Ahimsa is an attitude of non-injury at all times, with the understanding that in life you may have to hurt people, you may have to be harsh to people, you may have to take strong action, but never at any stage do you intend to do harm. There's a world of difference between actual causing harm and intention of doing harm. Arjuna doesn't understand that in the Gita, so he looks at Krishna and says, how can I kill my own guru? How can I kill Bhishma, the ancestor who laid down the kingdom for which we are fighting? And all my relatives and my fathers-in-law and so on and so on and so forth are there. How can I kill them? So Krishna says, you must have ahimsa. Ahimsa means never do you want to hurt them. But if need be, the situation is such that you're fighting to uphold righteousness, you're fighting to get rid of evil in society because you are a warrior, you are a kshatriya. And it's your duty to perform this, whether you like it or not. So this is still ahimsa. Samata, equanimity. This is a wonderful quality to have. The capacity to remain undisturbed in the face of challenges in the world. Very few of us have that. That the slightest thing goes wrong. You go home today and you don't get good food. Are you going to be equanimous? When the food is not good and you feel like throwing the plate over, think of verse 5, chapter 10. Samata. Tushti. Content at any stage in your life. This is a wonderful quality. You know, there are at any stage of your life, whatever be your standard of living, there will always be some things that you have that you can be happy about. There'll be plenty of things that you don't have that you can be discontent about. But a wonderful quality is the ability to be content with what you have and then aspire for more. There is no reason to be discontent. If you have a Maruti car and you feel your family is expanding, you need a bigger car, please by all means go ahead and get a bigger car. But there is no reason to be unhappy with the Maruti. If you have a one-bedroom apartment, there is nothing wrong in getting a bigger apartment. But there is no reason why you should be discontent with the one-bedroom apartment. So tushti is to understand that you get what you deserve, and whatever you deserve now, be happy with it. You can always aspire for more. Tapa. Tapas is the ability to conserve energy. First of all, you must understand that a lot of your energies are being dissipated in unproductive channels. So why is it that you feel tired? It's not because all your energies are being used productively, constructively. There's a whole huge drain on your resources. Physical and mental energies. So when you fix a higher goal, when you have something to work for, you have a concrete ideal fixed for yourself, you prevent your energies from getting dissipated into unproductive channels, and this energy that you have conserved, now you redirect towards achieving your goal. This is called tapas. And during the Olympics, you've seen that. Michael Phelps, who achieved the impossible, 8 brilliant gold medals in swimming, and quite a few of them he broke world records, previous Olympic records. Look into his life. From the age of 14, he has been consistently, every single day of his life till now, swimming 6 hours a day. That's a earth-shaking record. To even think of someone who can swim 6 hours a day for 11 years. One journalist went and asked Abhinav Bindra, "What do you do for a living?" And he shot back an answer. Says, "For the last some 12 years, I've been shooting holes into a black wall. That's all I've been doing." So, whatever it is that you decide to do in life, there must be a consistent pursuit of it. That goal must be foremost in your mind right through your life. It's only then that you can achieve anything. But here we are, somebody says, "Come to Manali for a holiday," off you go. Somebody else says, "Go for a diving expedition somewhere," off you go. There's no consistent pursuit. We are not saying you should be a workaholic. By all means, take a vacation. But factor that into your goal setting. So that is tapas. And then dhanam. Dhanam is charity, which is one of the most important qualities that we need to inculcate within us. And we're going to talk about it as the days go by. But it's just an attitude of giving. Cultivate that. Whenever you meet someone in English, you say, "What can I do for you?" But you only utter the words. You don't feel it. From the depth of your being, you should feel. Whoever you meet, wherever you go, whatever you do, your first and last thought should be, what service can I render to you? What can I do for you? And anyone who carries this attitude will be blessed with prosperity, the likes of which he has not even imagined. Because the law is, Swami Ramatirtha, one of the greatest apostles of Vedanta, when he went lecturing to America, he said the way to gain anything is to lose it. Just give. If you think you should give X, give 2X. If you think you should give 10X, give 20X. Because you can never lose. Now don't carry this to the extreme. I don't mean go and sign your homes and fortunes away. But see, where this comes from is from the awareness that whatever you have, many hundreds and thousands and millions of people have contributed to the fact that you are enjoying this luxury. It's not yours. And so therefore you need to pay back to society. So CSR is not just one more instrument of promoting yourself. True CSR, you know what CSR is? Corporate social responsibility. True CSR is a deep sense of obligation to society. To say that all the profits I've earned, all the good things that have happened to me are because of you. And I'm doing this as a token of my affection and gratitude. But much more is yet to come. That is why in India the custom is of giving, you never give a round figure. You give 101, you give 501, you give 1001. And an American asked me, I said, "Hey, you Indians are impractical people. Where do you get this 101 concept from?" And the explanation to this is, why is it that you give the 101? Because the feeling is, I'm giving 100, but my heart says I must give much, much more than that. At the moment, for whatever reason, I can't. So that one signifies the heart that goes out to the person and the belief that more is yet to come. This is not the end of my charity. So, dhanam, and the last is yasha and ayasha, is fame and infamy. In the world, for no reason at all you become famous. And the opposite is also true. For no reason at all you become infamous. So like today's paper said, watch out for what kind of SMS you send. Before you know it, you might have the police behind you. So you never know what you do, or what sometimes circumstances change and you are no longer famous. So you should be able to take, like joy and sorrow, fame and infamy, with the same thing. You must understand that the two are impostors. It's something that is conferred on you from others. You have no control over what people think. So therefore, watch out. If you become famous, there is a Roman emperor who every time he went out into the public, and everyone used to say that he was very popular. Hail Emperor, hail Emperor. He employed a person full time, and his only job was to stand behind him and whisper into his ear, remember, you're just a man. So if you get a Nobel Prize, tell yourself, remember, you're just a human being. You get awards and accolades, tell yourself that. You don't need to hire someone just for that. Keep reminding yourself, I'm just a human being. Plain and simple truth. There's no fame, there's no infamy. Next verse.